Hi, thanks for joining today. I'm going to be putting together Belle, and you can see her already over here. I've cut all the pieces. You can follow along on my other video to actually design it in, or make it larger in Design Space, and I'll show you how to do that. You can make it any size. This is 20 inches, and the reason why I did 20 inches is because I have Chip. And then I also have Princess Jasmine, and you can see Jasmine has her whole torso also. So if these were to be next to each other, and I did Belle as 30 inches, she would look ginormous because it cuts off right here. So anyway, so that's why I did Belle at 24 inches. And you can see these stand really easily. So okay, let me move that out of the way. The way the picture is, usually her lips aren't red, but I felt that with this light pink, she kind of looks a little washed out and doesn't pop quite as much. I mean, she's still beautiful, but anyway, I did like the red more. You can always play around with that. Be kind of funny to make her goth looking, but anyway. So this is it. I haven't taped it down or anything. But the first step what I do is when I pull it off the Cricut and I have all my pieces, I do put it down so I can kind of get a feel for one, did all the pieces cut correctly? Two, am I missing any pieces? And then three, this gives me a good idea of, because there's always that black outline that, did I space it properly? Like this has too much black right here. So that kind of just, I just want to see what it looks like. So let's undo this. Luckily, oh, and if you remember from the file, if you watched the Design Space tutorial, her hair was in a million pieces. So what I did was, for instance, this portion, it was 5 pieces, but I made it into one. It probably doesn't look as good as if I was a real designer. But what I did was I welded a straight piece over, so it's one piece. I didn't want to be gluing, 30 pieces of her hair together. And the same thing with this. I welded a piece right here, and right here, and right here. You can kind of tell because my signature little circle that I welded all together. But honestly, if you were just looking at this as a big piece of party decor, I don't think you would notice that the hair is like that. So I took, like I said, about 30 pieces of the hair down to just 3 pieces. I did a big ball right here, and I welded it right here. So, okay, so that definitely made it a lot easier. Okay, so let's unpiece this together. You know what, I'll just do it on my desk. So, the hair pieces are easy. I try to keep everything in place so I'm not doing this puzzle every single time. But most of these pieces are pretty obvious, like the eyes and the mouth. But yet I still have issues. So I'm gonna move this over. This eye fell apart because it was so thin right there, but still workable. All good. Yeah, I think this design is so cute. And that's the other thing is, one, it's knowing how to do this, but two, also selecting images that will turn out well. For instance, what I mean is this one with the hair, piecing all together so it's easier for you, but her skin, I did it so that this piece is all one, and then all around it is the outline, so you don't see the seams. And what it did was it covered the seams up in the back. So besides learning how to do off the mat, you need to develop an eye for where to cut things so that the seams will be hidden. And then also just looking at images that will work better. Like this one kind of looked washed out. Jasmine is beautiful because of all the colors that we use. I mean, I stayed true to the colors that we recognize, but I was able to find all those pieces in glitter cardstock, and her skin even. Now Belle, this is just regular cardstock. I don't think that there's this color in glitter. And you know, with the brown hair, everything's kind of washed out. So that's why I did the red lips in the end, because it needed that. So, okay, so let's move all these pieces out. And if you've been following along, you know I've had this cold forever. So, I'll try not to cough so much. I do have my iced tea next to me though. Okay, so what I do is now I have my black background. I flip everything over because I'm gonna tape the back side of it. And I do that only because sometimes you can't help it. No matter what you do, some seams are gonna show. So I don't want the tape to show through it. So, you know, just flip it over. And when I'm taping, I'm just using regular Scotch tape. And I am trying to keep the cardstock as flushed as possible so you don't see through it. So as I'm taping, I'm kind of pushing against it with one hand, keeping it down and then taping it. And then I'll do these two together. And so far, I haven't done much more than 30 inches. So most of the time I'm dealing with 6 to 8 pieces of cardstock, depending on, you know, how wide it is also. But, you know, technically you could do, it's not really limited. You just keep making it a bigger and bigger puzzle. Okay, so here we go. I will say though, I did attempt to do a 40-inch one and it was exponentially more cardstock and more time. So just know it's not just like, oh, I'm only going an extra 5 inches, no big deal. It kind of is a big deal. So okay, so now that I've glued the pairs together, now I'm gonna glue the 4 pieces together. And this, in the end, I do have it on the foam board. It's gonna go on the foam board because you can see it stands up really well. It stands up against something. So we're gonna do that. So that's why I'm just taping this. It's not a big deal because we're gonna actually tape it onto the foam board. This is just so that we can tape everything else on here and get it to be one piece. Okay. And I didn't, just so you know, yesterday was as soon as I went into Design Space, I was seeing the file for the first time in Design Space. So I'm a little bit too lazy to do multiple versions, practice, and then tape it, or video it. So what you're seeing is first time of everything. Okay, so here she is. Let's start piecing it together. And sometimes you'll get clues as to where things go. And if the design is good, you know, it should be, you know, everything is proportionate. All the black edges, the outline and such. So that'll give you a little idea of where things go too, if it's not obvious. And like I said, with when you're cutting these things, it's nice when it's all one piece and then you have the outline. Like this, there's no seams obviously because it's a small piece, but that's what really helps with the off the mat is where you cut things and how you hide that this was a big puzzle. And people are really amazed by it. Kids and adults, I should say. Okay, we're almost done. And it's nice when they're off the mat too. Most of the time, I mean, you're not dealing with so many pieces that you're putting together. Okay. And then what I end up doing is after I place everything down, I start to tape and glue things obviously one at a time, but I try to do the smaller pieces, just things that I can hold down and give me an idea of where things should go. Okay, we're almost done. just dropped her little eye, but I see it. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. And then this one. And, you know, it's just, sorry, I dropped it again. I wish she had more colors because her face and, I mean, just her image is so pretty, but I feel like it doesn't pop because, like Jasmine, I had her hair is black glitter cardstock. Like everything on her is glitter. And so I just think, and the color combination is so pretty. Like even, her eyes right here, if you see like this orange color, like it's just so pretty. But I'm gonna have to look for brown glitter cardstock. I don't know if that exists or if it's worth it. But okay, so you want to just make sure that everything is where it should be. Like here, this black outline compared to this black outline is not even. This had too much black. And we're getting there. If it was too fast and too easy, right, everyone would be doing it. But, excuse me, I do hope that you guys do it. I mean, this is probably, you know, not a beginner project, but you could totally do it. I haven't been doing this that long, but I love it. So, okay. And things are still gonna move as I tape them down. This one, I'm not taking out my hot glue gun at all because it's all, there's no glitter on glitter. Jasmine, I had to because there were things that we were, you can't tape down glitter on top of glitter. It will eventually fall off. So depending on what your situation is, if it's just a one-time party and then that's all you're concerned about, no big deal. But if you wanted to put it up in the bedroom or you want to keep it afterwards or you're selling it, if you have glitter on glitter, I would definitely glue. Okay, we're almost done. Okay, I feel pretty good about this layout, I think. Okay. And you're not going to be able to see this that well, but I'm actually going to put it, like give myself some distance so I can see it from afar. I think everything looks good except for her eyes, but that's because they don't fit into the puzzle. Like there's going to be an outline, so we'll get to that afterwards. So what I will do is, now I'm going to use double-sided tape. I am going to tape down her torso, like her neck area. And I just want to make sure I'm good with that. So I'm going to hold it down and then I'm going to tape this part so that it doesn't move. I'm going to tape the ends. And I also don't want to bend the cardstock, so I'm going to do that. Okay. All right. So that is down. Then I can do the rest, right? Now her neck is in place and I can just go under and stick some tape there. Okay. And then let's do this little piece over here. And then afterwards, I mean, you definitely want to do the edges because you don't want it to kind of show, like for it to flap down at all. So you do want to get, so it's not like this. I don't know if you can see that, but. And you don't want any of the tape to come through. It will show. Okay, so that's all good. Okay, so this, let's do her hair. Okay, so her hair, I'll do that piece. Oops. And sometimes you're gonna have to just, you know, rip your tape in half to get the strands to make sure that it doesn't show, the tape doesn't show. Because against the black outline, you will see the tape and it just ruins it for me. So, okay, I'm gonna flip this around. This is the thinner edge up here. I'm gonna get this one because it's popping up. And I also use, I didn't have it out yet. I also use glue dots. So I'll take another piece out. And we will do it for the smaller pieces. Okay, so her hair is down, and I will show you the foam board and then we're gonna prop it up so you can see everything. Okay, so we've got that down. Let's tape down her little dress right here. Right there. And I will do a live video soon. That's gonna be my goal for this week. So you can ask questions, but I am really, not to toot my own horn, but I'm really good at responding back. So if you have questions, hit me up on YouTube. I will answer within 24 hours. All right, so that piece is too small. I'm gonna put this aside for now. I'm gonna hit it with a glue dot. Ooh, it's like so transparent you can barely see it. Okay. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's get these little pieces. And I don't know if you had this. I saw some girl using it on Facebook. So it's like a little tacky up here so that you can do this for small pieces. I know this one's not that small, but I just wanted to show you before I mess up. I'm kind of digging it. And then you just do this, right? And then put it back on. I know my friends tease me because I have a gadget for everything. So this is, we are Memory Keepers Quick Stick Precision Pickup and Placement Tool, in case you need that. Okay, so this. Okay, we're almost there, sorry. I know it's slow and tedious, but then I feel like if I skip the steps, then you don't get to see it, then you make the mistake. So you can just fast forward through this stuff if you already know this. Now this piece I'm a little sad. Because it's glitter cardstock, you know it cuts twice on the maker. So this little tip right here kind of shredded a bit. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my scissors and I'm just gonna cut it a little bit. So it just doesn't look shredded and it still looks fine. So tape this down. Oh, I still have pieces over here. Okay, that looks good. Do a little piece over here. And let me know if there's a certain character that you want to see. I mean, I think once you know how to do these, you know, you can do any image, but it's hard to, you know, if this just isn't your strong suit, like visualizing it and piecing it together, I totally get it. There are just some things that, like, no matter what you see. So if it helps you, and if you want to do a specific character for, sorry, that's gotta go, for a birthday party or whatever it is, let me know. I'm more than willing to do that. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think I'm here to show you how easy it is and how much fun it is. And this is one of those projects where it's just worth learning because you get the awe factor from everybody. And for your parties, if you're big into doing everything for your party, this is definitely worth it. Okay, so everything is going down. Did I tape this? Oh, I did. Okay. This is down, this isn't down. Let's do this piece, this big piece over here. And I'm just slowly making my way up. I mean, obviously it's not a big deal if pieces fall off and you have to re-put some of these down, but it's a little bit easier if you have a little bit of a method and a strategy. Okay, so that's all good. I'm gonna take down that little corner with a glue dot. Okay. All right, let's tape this down. All right. Oh man, it's so pretty. Okay, that's already down. This is down. We're almost there. We're gonna do the hair. And one of these days, I'm really gonna get good at Inkscape. And I'm probably gonna revisit this hair and make it better. It was just in so many pieces and I just didn't want to deal with it. That would have added so much time to our assembly. And I quickly just decided to wing it. So I still think it looks good though. But then again, I think everything I do is amazing. Kind of joking, not really joking. So let's see. Okay, there's that. There's stuff on here. Okay. Let's get this little piece down. It's so delicate, these little pieces, that I don't want to ruin it, but and that one, like, it's so thin, so I have to curl up the glue dot to hide it a little bit. So it's a thicker pile, but it's all good. One more. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to glue it down just a little, or tape it down just a little bit more. All right. The other reason why I don't like using the hot glue gun is sometimes your cardstock, you can see where you put the glue gun. So I don't like that. The other thing is I will do a scan of this or a really close-up of this image. My brown cardstock is, I can tell right now, it was the white core. So basically when you cut it, it's brown on top, white in the middle, and brown on the bottom. So you can see, oh, I forgot. You can see a little bit of the white. It's okay. I don't think it really impacts this, but if you were a perfectionist, I would spend a little bit more money, buy cardstock that does not have the white core. And that's, people who make flowers have said the same thing. It's a big deal only on the small pieces. Like for instance, if you were rolling small flowers, then you can really see the white core. Otherwise, I mean, until someone brought it up, I didn't even realize that there was such a thing. I didn't notice it. So let's get this. And I need more glue dots already. And sometimes I use glue, the strip, the tape, and that's fine too. Let me get the bigger pieces down. We're almost done. We're almost done with this portion, and then I'll show you the foam board. The foam board, okay, so I don't know if you guys all have a Dollar Tree close to you, but that's where I get my foam board, $1, yes. It's huge, and it works perfectly. So I highly recommend that. I've seen them at Michael's for like, I think $4. It's like, what a rip. Okay. I think we're good for now. Okay, that's pretty even. So I'm going to move the eyes out of the way because that doesn't matter. We can fix that after her face is in place. Same thing with her lips. Okay, so now her face. There, that looks pretty even. Oops. I want double-sided tape. Okay. And on this one, I'm going to want it on both sides of her face to keep it. But I think that's all we need. Okay, and then let's get her earrings down. And then we'll be good to go. Oh, and her lips and her eyes. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Okay, and we'll do this earring. Okay, so the earrings are down. Let's do the lips. I'm just gonna take this off. And do. Okay, and I'm gonna try to do another one. The lips are so small. Okay. Let's see if that works. If I can get away with just the 3. Okay, I think that works. All right, this one should be a little bit easier because it's a bigger piece that I still need to rip in half. Okay. Okay, I love it, love it, love it. Okay. The eyes are so hard. Okay, let's get that down. Almost done. This one, I'm gonna leave, the tape is sticking out a little bit, but I think it's okay because I know the brown piece is coming down. Yeah, and we'll cover that a little bit. Oops. Okay. And stuck to my fingernail. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then the little white part. Okay. Almost done. Last part, her eyes. Okay, so let's get this side. And I know this little piece is sticking up. Let's see see if I can get it. I'm gonna roll this up kind of tight. See if I can do anything about this piece. I don't love it, but it's okay. All right. So now this piece, this is easier because it's one piece. It didn't fall apart on me. And another one on this side, and we should be good. Is it this way? Yeah, it's this way. Okay. Ah. Okay, pull up. Okay. And we're almost done. Just one little white piece. Where's all my tape? Of course. Let me grab another one. Okay. We're almost done. Okay, it's on. Let's get you on here so I can show you. Yay! Okay, so now grab a pencil, and I'm gonna do her at an angle because I want this whole bottom to be covered to be on the foam board because we're gonna be propping it down. So we have that. Thought I had my pencil out. Okay, here we go. And just do a quick outline. And basically what we're doing and what I do is I cut just slightly inside the lines. So just, sketch it or trace it. And then take I use a Cricut knife, the X-Acto knife. I'm a little bit of, I have brand loyalty. So if I like something, I'll try out all your products. I'll keep going until I get burned and then decide is it just a one-time thing or not. So, okay. We traced her. Move her aside. I have this Cricut self-healing mat that I'm in love with. It's huge. It's 24 by 36. Yeah. And I love it. Okay. So you have the outline. Take your knife and just go inside, and you're going to see how quickly I do it. I don't spend a lot of time on this because most of the time you're propping it up against a wall for the cake table, or you're hanging it on the wall, so you don't need the stability of the foam board for more than just that, right? And then I've also had people stake it into the grass, so then you have something that's holding it up. So the foam board is just to keep the pieces propped up, and there's something else that's helping it. So that's why, at least that's my reasoning. Okay, so I'm just going to start. And you can just see I'm staying inside the lines. I know you can't really see that depth of detail. That little piece, this little tendril right here, may not have a good piece, but that's okay. Because I've had that with the My Little Ponytail, and it's been fine. There, so I'll just go to the end like that even. Just so that I can get this piece off. For no other reason than it makes me happy that I'm seeing progress right away. Okay, a little bit easier to manage too. Okay. So you can see I'm not very precise on this. And just make sure that we, you know, if we need to trim anything, we trim it now before you tape it on. And I think she's good. Okay, so let me tape her down just so that I can show you what it looks like propped up. And obviously here, because we have multiple layers, sometimes I will glue it down if I have my glue gun out. And then I just do it really quickly. But right now I'm just gonna tape it so that you can see it and I can end this video because I think I've had you for a long time already. Oops. I didn't do a good job. Okay, so right there, because I think I moved it while I was taping this down, I'm just gonna, there's white showing right there. Oh my God. Guess where the cap was? On the back of it, like you're supposed to do. I love it. Okay, I'm gonna trim this little piece over here a little bit. And I'm especially kind of free spirit about the top part because that part doesn't get touched, you know, on the bottom. Like it's not sitting on that part. So that's why I don't care if we trim a lot from there. Okay, almost. Stick with me. Okay. And so if I was the wall, ta-da! I'm gonna put her up next to Jasmine so you